So let us continue with special education and support services part 2 in this video. I already told you that this topic is very close to my heart, so I'll try my best to create interest in you and to think that you will be able to learn something or the other from this video, whether you attempt it or you don't. So we'll deal with the concept of disability and different types of disabilities in the children, the knowledge and skills which are required to make a career in special education and allied support services. So, what is special education? We did it in our last video also, the first one, that it is a term which refers to educational provisions which are made for children with special needs. These special needs could be physical, mental, or emotional challenges, and therefore these are known as special education needs. Special education means specially designed instructions for the children with above challenges. Which challenges? Physical, mental, emotional challenges in all the settings, not just the classrooms, but also at home, workplace, public places, streets, and now most of it is applicable. Many a times you see the ramps are there in the hospitals, in the picture halls, the malls. It is all because of the special education and the steps taken by special educators. So, what are special educators? The educators or the teachers who provide special education are called special educators. The person who chooses to become a special educator is said to have a career in special education. What is the whole purpose behind the special education? To make the specially abled or the challenged child to reach his potential and to perform the maximum he or she can. So, what is a disability? We have been regularly talking of disability. What is disability? According to World Health Organization, that is WHO, disability is an umbrella which covers impairment, limitation in activity and restriction in participation. So, what is it? It is a disability which covers impairment, limitation in activity, and restrictions in participation. They are sometimes referred to as being challenged or differently abled children. We all know this, we call them challenged or the differently abled children. So, we will deal with the different kinds of activities which are there, disabilities. The first one is intellectual disability. What is intellectual disability? Limitation in intellectual functioning and the adaptive skill. You can see this child. Mostly the intellectual skill वाले जो बच्चे होते हैं, we need to have some special training or exclusive education for such children. But in most of the other cases, except intellectual and cerebral palsy, most of the children can sit in the normal classroom inclusive education, which we did in the last video. The second is visual disability, which includes low vision and total blindness. So this visual impairment could be partial or total blindness. Then we have hearing, that is hearing problem, which includes partial or total loss of hearing and deafness. Then we have this locomotor disability, which is due to damage to the bones, joints and muscles. It is a bigger problem because here most of the muscles or the joints, they stop working, and so the children, they have to be looked after. Cerebral palsy, difficulty of movement, posture, speech, hand functions, etc. because of brain damage. So this is a major disability or impairment, and here this child also needs a special care, and generally you have exclusive caretaker, exclusive teacher or exclusive schools. For example, if you see this child, the problem is with movement, posture, the whole independent thinking or the functioning of the body is affected because the brain is not functioning. So they are not able to eat, they are not able to move in the manner they feel like. So they may fall, they may have an accident, they may while walking they may have an accident, or they may collide with the wall. So the coordination is not there. Autism, this is what we learned in the movie also. This is disability affecting communication, social interaction and play behavior. So here the communication, talking with people, it is all affected, and this also has an impact on the learning of the child. Learning disabilities, these are basic disabilities which are not in all the fields. They are only in learning, reading, writing, arithmetic. The child, when he sits down, he is not able to relate or comprehend the symbols which are there. तो इसमें symbols हैं, whenever we read or write, suppose we are talking of learning disability, the symbol is LEAR. If you are not able to comprehend or understand the symbols itself, the problem with learning arises. It could also be ADLD, where you have concentration problems, attention deficit, or hyperactivity. These are all learning disabilities. Okay, so next let's move to the next one, which what are the causes of disability. If we see the causes of disability, they can be grouped under 3 categories, and these categories depend on the time when these factors arose. किस समय पर हुआ, what was the stage, the age. So they are classified into 3 categories. The first is before birth. Even before a child takes birth, the disability is there in the fetus of the mother also. It could be both genetic and non-genetic. It's not necessary that it is genetic, but it could be because of malnourishment of the mother. The mother was not given vaccines, or the mother was not taking proper nutrition. So not necessarily it has to be genetic, but it could be any reason. The disease which the mother was having, it can also pass on to the child. So this is before birth. Hyperthalassemia, these are all the problems which are there before birth. Now the next stage is at birth or soon after birth. The moment the birth takes place or very soon after the birth takes place, this disability occurs. Very often at birth, what happens, the child, he does not get enough oxygen, and if the body does not get oxygen, the part which does not receive oxygen remains paralyzed, or it could be a cleft. For example, in this child, it could be a physical disformality. When the child is being born, there could be some, if it is with forceps, then the forceps, the child could be hurt with the forceps, या cleft हो सकता है, any physical disfigurement at birth or soon after birth. And later, during the developmental stage, when the child is growing up, he could be hurt, it could be an accident, it could be malnutrition. Malnutrition से suppose iodine ही deficient है, तो it could result in mental disability. So these 3 stages, the first is before birth, the second is at birth or soon after birth, and the third is during the development. I hope it's clear, the causes of disabilities. Now we move to the special methods of educations which are used. What is the process of this special education? The first step is the assessment of level in different areas of development and learning. The first thing is you have to assess the ability of the child, what is the disability, whether it is physical, social, mental blockage, what is it. Then you have to deal with that particular development. For example, if it is in concepts of maths, whether it is in language or in social skills, and you have to deal with the child accordingly. Then what is done is individualized educational program, that which we say IEP, is developed. Now this program is different for each child depending upon the disability of the child. It works as a guide with the student. Once you have this assessment, you plan out this program, and this program helps in helping the child reach his potential, to assess what he can do and what he cannot do. How do we train them? Now the third step is regular evaluation of the IEP. ये जो हमने program develop किया था, we have to evaluate it regularly to see if the learning and the development goals are being met, the process and the progress of the child is regularly evaluated. If the progress is not up to the mark or what we expected, we can always make changes in this individualized educational program, so that the progress increases and the development of the child is to the maximum. And last is we access and make use of support services. We discussed the support services earlier in the last video also. It includes the transportation, special equipment, trainings, some speech therapies, medical counseling, all this is included. So speech therapy, counseling, and we try to have the resources which have a desirable effect on the child. What is the desirable impact? That he progresses, learns and becomes independent. So these are the 4 steps: assessment, in development of IEP, evaluation of IEP, and making use of support services. Now, what are the knowledge and skills which a person requires if he wants to make a career in this field? The first is the person needs to have developed sensitivity towards such children with special needs. So they must make use of language and terms which shows respect, the respect to the child. It should not be derogatory. Suppose a child is obese, very fat, and all the children and the teacher, they all make fun of him and call him or nickname him as moti, fatty. So it will have an impact on the development of the child. So disregard or mere sympathy, charity to the child, this also conveys a disrespect or disregard to the feelings of the child with special needs. Now, that person also should have knowledge about the disability. What are the disabilities? We did different types of disabilities. What are the developmental characteristics of each disability? In characteristics के basis पर he will identify the difficulties, the disorders or the problems which such a child will face. अगर आप तारे ज़मीन पर याद करो तो आमिर खान first he diagnosed the child that he was having a problem, then he recognized his disabilities, and with these disabilities he also identified the ability of the child. He identified that the child was very good at drawing and he encouraged him. Next is interpersonal skills. This person should have very good interpersonal skills. He has to work with the children, family, he should be very good at guiding and counseling the parents. He should be motivating, inspiring for the child. Now, pedagogical skills, the teaching methodologies, he should know the art and science of teaching such students, break up all the topics, simplify the concepts and bring the topics to a level which such a child can understand. So these are all the 4 skills and knowledge which such a person who is interested in this field should possess. Now, the courses and pre-service training which makes you eligible for this particular career is you should have at least a certificate course in early education and special education which enables inclusion. It is available from IGNOU. You know IGNOU? Indira Gandhi National Open University. This is correspondence course also. If you want, you can do it. In early childhood special inclusive educator, the minimum qualification is class 10. So if you are in class 12, tab to, you can surely go in for this. Then you also have bachelors at different universities, the conventional universities and IGNOU also, and National Institute of Medically Handicapped, where trainings for these special teachers or special educators is given. So first was diploma, the first was diploma, the second is bachelor's. Then you can also proceed further and have a master's degree in child and human development psychology. You can work as a social worker in NGOs, government schemes, and this child and human development also enables you to work as a counselor or a psychiatrist. Any recognized certificate, diploma or degree courses which may have an entry qualification lower than post graduation. You can also go in for any certificate, diploma or degree which is conducted after the bachelor's. Now, master's degree in disability studies. Here it was master's in child and human development. Here it is disability studies for teaching at university level. So if you have to teach this particular subject, prepare or train the special educators, the teachers who train the educators, then you need to have master's degree in disability studies. Research planning programs also are undertaken and you can also set up your own organization. Then the Department of Child and Human Development under Home Science offers postgraduate courses in such a field. So home science is an apt subject or an apt field where you can opt for this particular subject. Now, what are the career options available to a person who does the previous given courses or trainings? So, after the Persons with Disability Act, that is PWD Act 1995 and SSA has the provisions of 8 years of education for all children. So, RTE Act maybe you have necessary education up to a child till 14. So, this is for all the children including those with special नीड्स और डिसेबिलिटीज़। तो जब से ये दोनों एक्ट्स आए हैं, द डिमांड फॉर स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स हैज इंक्रीज्ड मैनी फोल्ड बिकॉज द करियर ऑप्शंस आर अवेलेबल. यू हैव टू टीच ऑल द चिल्ड्रन फॉर 8 years. व्हाट आर द ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल? अर्ली चाइल्डहुड स्पेशल एजुकेटर, जो हमने क्लास 10th के बाद एक डिप्लोमा कोर्स किया था. आफ्टर दैट यू कैन बिकम एन अर्ली चाइल्डहुड स्पेशल एजुकेटर. यू कैन ऑर्गेनाइज और कंडक्ट योर ओन एंटरप्राइज. यू कैन टर्न एन एंटरप्रायर, हैव योर ओन ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स, head or manager of special education programs or special schools. These special programs could be government run programs or the NGO programs or any other special schools. Special educators, you can also work as trainers at non-government organization or under सर्व शिक्षा अभियान guidelines. SSA का full form सबको पता है? It's सर्व शिक्षा अभियान. So under this scheme, this is run by the government. The person can work as a special trainer. Now the professional training is regulated by Rehabilitation Council of India. So all the trainings for the special educators, they have to be approved and regulated by the Rehabilitation Council of India. So remember, if you ever proceed for this particular field, look that any such course which you are pursuing is regulated by RCI. So I hope you are clear with the topic and it would have created some interest. Be sensitive to the children with special need. Learn to adapt with them. Make them comfortable. They don't need your charity. They only need our recognition and our support, cooperation. I hope you liked the video. Just give me your comments. Give it a thumbs up and see you in the next video. Till then,